weakness.
Terrible. Republican presidential candidate Tim Scott dropped by the Furry Five earlier today, and I thought the U.S. had a distinct policy against torture. He took the opportunity to call them out over crap Joy Behar recently said about him, specifically that he doesn't get systemic racism, which is like saying Brian Stelter doesn't get Ben and Jerry's. But Joy Behar gets racism after all. She's been black on Halloween. Yeah. But Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. But that is convenient, right? It's like one of my aunts dies every time Brian Kilmeade wants to hang out.
The tension between political satire and daytime television just exploded in front of millions, and the fallout is nothing short of brutal. In a moment that's now circling every corner of the internet, The View's Joy Behar found herself completely blindsided, live on air, by none other than Greg Gutfeld, the sharp-tongued host from The Five and Gutfeld on Fox News. What started as a playful exchange quickly spiraled into an on-camera takedown that left Behar visibly rattled in social media in a frenzy. Gutfeld, known for his unapologetic jabs and lightning-fast comebacks, seized the opportunity to expose what he claimed was hypocrisy, double standards, and outdated talking points, catching Behar off guard in the middle of a live segment.
And last week, Joy Behar accused Elon Musk of being pro-apartheid, but then begged him afterwards not to sue. Musk lawyers have yet to comment because they're still checking to see if it's legal to sue a cow.
Shots fired.
Just a legal question. I don't know why it's so upsetting. I don't make the rules in this country. All right.
The clip has sparked widespread debate, with viewers asking, did Greg Gutfeld go too far, or did he just say what many were thinking? And was Joy Behar caught unprepared, or was this a long overdue reckoning with the changing media landscape? Regardless of which side viewers land on, one thing is clear: this clash wasn't scripted, and the humiliation was real. In today's video, we're breaking down exactly what happened during the explosive moment, what was said, why it hit so hard, and how audiences and insiders are reacting across the board. Stay locked in as we unpack every angle of this headline-making media showdown that left Joy Behar stunned and Greg Gutfeld trending worldwide.
Seriously, her denial of knowing me is as believable as her red hair. But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. It now smells like a humid day inside Joy Behar's moo-moo. The motives stink worse than Joy Behar's jog bra. I mean, assuming she jogs. Oh, wait, there she is. She has a point. Maybe I am obsessed, but some people are obsessed with Bigfoot, and they don't get to see him on TV every afternoon.
Now picture the scene. Joy Behar, comfortably seated in her usual role, confident and composed, suddenly caught in a barrage of sharp critiques. This wasn't a casual debate. This was no friendly sparring match. Greg came equipped with a full verbal arsenal, designed to strip away the usual defenses. Every shaky claim, every public slip, every overly confident soundbite, he targeted them all, and he didn't miss. It felt less like daytime television and more like a slow-motion collision, with every word landing like a blow, and every expression captured like a freeze frame in real-time drama. Viewers weren't just watching, they were hooked, snacks in hand, waiting for the next verbal collision. Greg Gutfeld opened with what seemed like harmless observations, light jabs at recent political takes, and those infamous on-air spirals where passion morphed into confusion.
You know, I make fun of The View a lot, but that's only because they keep talking. Those hens are always clucking. They get to say stupid stuff for an hour every day, and then I get to say stupid stuff for an hour every day, except on purpose. But every now and then, one of those dingbats inadvertently says something that reveals modern liberal thought so perfectly it deserves further study. You know, like a weird serpent that washed up on the beach and you want to poke it with a stick.
But what started as playful banter quickly transformed into a full-blown verbal demolition mission. This wasn't just disagreement, it was a calculated effort to unravel the core of Joy's on-screen confidence. With precision, Greg twisted Joy's signature firebrand energy into a reel of contradictions, so obvious they could have been spotted by satellites. He didn't need to shout. He didn't resort to low blows. Instead, his sarcasm was so expertly crafted, it hit like a custom-made suit of verbal armor, slicing straight through every defense without missing a beat. This wasn't a heated back and forth. This was a masterclass in control, with one side landing flawless strikes and the other losing rhythm by the second. Joy's confidence flickered like a spotlight short-circuiting mid-show, while Greg delivered blow after blow without ever breaking composure. Then came the infamous moment, where the humor didn't just poke fun, it went full nuclear. No dramatic music, no tension-filled pause. Just a chilling calm, like the air before a tornado levels the street.
Their brains are small, but who's the dumbest one of all? True, none of them are in Mensa, but who's the most densa? Perhaps it's Sonny who mastered the art of making idiots look smart. Now the View could ask a mirror who's the dumbest one of all, but there's no way that glass doesn't shatter.
Her legendary resilience faltered, and the moment didn't go unnoticed. To those familiar with her media persona, a fortress of sass and unshakable confidence, watching that crumble felt surreal. Like seeing a unicorn casually sipping coffee in a crowded Starbucks. It didn't feel real. But this wasn't about bruised pride or a missed comeback. Joy's reaction ran deeper. Because in the relentless world of televised media, public figures don't just face critique, they endure it under a microscope, with every reaction judged, every stumble recorded, every silence dissected. This moment revealed a rare and profound crack in the polished armor, a brief glimpse into the person behind the powerful persona. It resonated with viewers not only because of the discomfort, but because it exposed the true cost of performing under constant scrutiny. The breakdown wasn't just emotional, it was strategic vulnerability unfolding on a live, high-stakes media battleground. Joy's falter wasn't weakness. It was a quiet surrender in a world where every pause, every glance, every reaction becomes a move in a non-stop public chess match. For the observant, that hesitation spoke volumes, whispers of exhaustion, pressure, and the heavy weight of a spotlight that never dims. It showed how even the sharpest voices can be disarmed, especially when facing someone like Greg Gutfeld, a challenger with zero hesitation and unrelenting precision. This wasn't just a television fumble, it was a raw human moment carved into the chaos of media warfare. And what followed?
It's about the View. It's become like a medical hospital that displays human misfailure. Here, let's look at this political oddity. You know, it's like it really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival sideshow, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and two-headed cows. Well, let me rephrase that. But the View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. You know, how can you now speak the truth when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much. We were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up was on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're honest scum.
Memes flew like digital confetti. Greg was cast as a gladiator in an arena of televised combat. Joy, caught in a tide of sarcasm, was turned into an exaggerated caricature, overwhelmed by a wave of backlash. The internet had delivered its ruling. Greg Gutfeld had executed one of the most memorable public takedowns in recent television memory. And Joy Behar had experienced a stunning fall on a platform she once commanded with total confidence. But here's why it matters far beyond the headlines and hashtags. This clash laid bare the truth about the media spotlight. This wasn't just a war of personalities. It was a hard look at the brutal ecosystem that demands constant performance, where vulnerability becomes a liability and composure is currency. It's an environment where authenticity battles against scripted strength, and not everyone makes it out unscathed. Joy's visible crack on air wasn't simply a public misstep. It was a sobering reminder that beneath the cameras, lighting, and rehearsed lines, even the most experienced media figures are human. Subject to doubt, exposed to pressure, vulnerable to collapse. Greg's takedown wasn't loud or reckless. It was clean, focused, a masterclass in verbal precision and media strategy, executed without chaos, fueled by intellect, not outrage. It was the kind of performance analysts revisit for months, studied, replayed, dissected as a textbook example of how humor, when sharpened with precision, can become a devastating tool. Greg Gutfeld's takedown didn't rely on rage or personal attacks. It danced on the edge of satire, never quite crossing into outright cruelty. And for Joy, it became a harsh lesson in public humility. A temporary fall from grace that reminded media observers of a hard truth. Even the most seasoned veterans are not untouchable in today's hyper-reactive arena. Then came the aftermath. As the dust settled, keyboards fired up, timelines exploded. Every social feed became a combat zone of memes, hashtags, and hot takes. Greg's verbal strike didn't just spark conversation. It triggered a full-blown digital tidal wave, spreading with the speed of a viral cat video packed with controversy.
Now to some news. The feral monsters of The View say they've never heard of you-know-who. True, the show that makes mornings hell claim that my name doesn't ring a bell. It's time for
Our view on The View.
Yeah, the witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently the broads have no idea who I am, or so they say. Hit it, Gladys.
As this saga unfolds, one thing is certain: this isn't over. This is just the latest round in a televised gladiator match where words are weapons, reputations are fragile, and no one is truly safe. Looking ahead, the boundaries between satire, criticism, and character are only getting blurrier. And moments like this show just how intense the battleground has become. Whether Joy Behar returns sharper and more resilient, or chooses to regroup off camera, is still up in the air. But what's not in question? Greg Gutfeld has just redefined the televised takedown, setting a new standard for how sharp commentary lands in the public arena. While the cameras may have stopped rolling, the media world is still buzzing, and audiences are still replaying every frame of what many now call one of the most entertaining, savage, and unforgettable clashes in recent broadcast history. And in the end, someone had to remind daytime television that the pen and the punchline is still mightier than the scripted spotlight. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter in this ongoing media saga. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next round.